Good morning on this first Saturday in April. This is a little garden video in which I'm going to speak to the idea of allowing some plants to spread and using discernment when it gets to be too much maybe for your particular environment. And we'll start back here with these Lunaria that I think technically they are biennial, but they seem to bloom almost more like an annual. That's hard for me to remember from year to year. But they're also called money plants, so they get those little like translucent discs, and that's where the flowers are. And a lot of times we know these plants just for that, but this is what they're like in the blooming stage, and they're quite beautiful. And so when they go to seed with their little seed pods, which actually are really great for cyanotype as well, I let them do their thing and I let them spread. And if they get to be too much in a certain area, I'll show you where there are some, well actually some coming up over here. They might actually require a little bit of thinning because this is all of them here. We don't need quite that many there. Just as an aside, here are my Solomon seal coming up. Got a few May apples over here as well. So the Lunaria I allow to spread with a little bit of containment. They don't spread through runners or vines or anything like that, so they're actually very easy to contain when you need to. The hellebore also are spreaders, but they tend to just like to grow in clumps, so I allow those to do so as well. These naturalized daffodils back here are also very lovely, and this is all just, I'm working to make this a woodland garden back here because of all the trees. Here's my pawpaw leafing out nicely. No blooms yet, it's still very young. And I do believe I'll need another one if I want it to fruit. And over here we have more May apples. May apples are a native. They do get a cute little blossom on top and a fruit. And the fruit is the only part of the plant that is edible, and everything else is poisonous. But for me, I am just, again, trying to encourage the natives to grow, especially in these shady areas. Then we have some black Cohos, which I have yet to get to be really super duper robust back here, but we keep trying. And then we've got the Virginia bluebells, which I am working to get to spread. There is a little golden seal that is not quite, oh there we go. It's starting to get a little bit of green on it. It's very, very difficult to see right there. If I could get some ginseng to grow, I'd do that. But this is a work in progress, the backyard, and doesn't get quite as much attention and love as the front. But that's what I'm working with back here as far as encouraging the spread of certain plants. These lovely bleeding heart back here, which I enjoy every year. And of course we have nettles. which does require a little bit of containment. Let's go out front. Out here, we've got motherwort, which I have allowed to spread. It will need a little bit of containment. I've got the sweetgrass in the pots because I do want to grow it, but I don't want the grass everywhere. We've got some ferns, which I hope spread. These were starts from a neighbor. More Lunaria. And then out in the main garden, along the front, where most of the perennials and pollinator plants grow, because this is where I have the vegetable plants. And I will be getting some T-posts and some flexible fencing netting to go around here to protect from the deer, particularly when I'm gone in May. So we've got a couple of mullen. I always let the mullen spread. It doesn't spread real vigorously, so I let it do what it can. We've got valerian that I also let spread, and foxglove. Those are a little bit more tricky because when they're babies, they're really, really tiny. So I haven't quite gotten this stand to where I want it to be. And the ground is very compacted right here, being at the base of the big guardian oak. Let's see, I've got some more ferns over here, and also some little new bleeding hearts that I want to allow to spread right here. And then there are Queen Anne's lace and the Dara variety as well. There was a white one here that I let go to seed. So these I will probably thin. And then over here we've got lemon balm, which is always welcome. Anise hyssop, which there are a few of them in here. And this area needs a good discerning weeding of mostly the violets, but also a few other things. I have echinacea that's spread in here, a little bit of catnip, and lots of what I believe these are all the Dara, Queen Anne's lace, even coming up in the paths a little bit, but I allow that to be okay. Any kind of poppies. This is a California poppy here, and then we've got a lot of the bread seed poppies over here, which I did not put any seed in this year. I just let them do it all on their own. And also the Polish chamomile, which in here we've got a really big one going. And then the last thing that I let do its thing, well actually there's two more things. There is larkspur. The bees love the larkspur, bumblebees in particular. So I've got a bunch of larkspur in here, and then back along here, and it's just such a truly delightful plant. And then we've got some Nigella that I allow to come back every year, particularly right here, that could use a little bit of weeding. But yeah, that's just a little garden tour and a little show and tell of the plants that I let naturalize themselves and come back. And then there's the whole idea of discernment, when I need to weed. What is something that I want in the garden and what is something that I don't want. And that whole process just really slows me down and grounds me, and I really appreciate being able to do that. So enjoy your Saturday, everyone. I hope it's as beautiful for you as it is for me.